This is the 3-axis telescope phone adapter by Apexel, or is it Apexel or Apexel? And while my pronunciation may be in question, the utility of this tool is not. This is perhaps one of the best scope mounts available, and we're going to see why. Alright, we have the Apexel scope mount, and it comes in this rather nondescript shipping box, so no branding on the outside. Let's see what we get on the inside. We have the mount itself, we have a instruction manual, and always read your instruction manual before using your product, and it's coming in a couple of different languages. And we have a Bluetooth remote for phones, or I suppose if you had, I don't know if there's any specific cameras that work with that, perhaps some SLRs, but these are designed for using with Bluetooth for Android, and this is a remote shutter. Alright, let's take a look at the mount itself, and I want to thank Apexel for sending this out for me to test and evaluate, because I've been looking for a more robust camera mount or phone mount for my spotting scope reviews. So this is certainly, hopefully, intended to supplant my existing camera mounts. But I like this one. It is quite robust, and there's really no plastic. It's all metal, aluminum, I assume. And the advantage of this is that it allows you much more precise control with your camera positioning. And anybody who's used the typical friction camera mounts on scopes, usually they're attached via these spring-loaded camera holders, and everything else is just kind of by tension. And of course that can lead to inconsistencies and just a lot of futzing around. But you'll see that when we test this out on a scope. But this one allows you precise controls of the positioning of your camera. And you can see that the camera actually mounts in there also under friction. But once you have it in place, you can use these dials to adjust the position of your phone or camera, potentially. And you'd mount this opens up, you mount your eyepiece in there, but this allows you precise positioning of your phone or your camera vis-a-vis your eyepiece. So we're going to see how well this works, but you know what? Let's see how much this weighs, because it is much more substantial than your typical plastic one, so obviously it's going to weigh a bit more. And let's just see if I can find a good position for this to weigh it. Just under 12 ounces, so not bad. Certainly a bit weightier than standard plastic all tension based clamp, but it is a more substantially engineered piece of equipment. So we're going to test it out. We're going to put it on a scope next. Alright, well, I'm setting up my spotting scope. Take a moment and hit that like button right now, and the subscribe button. It's absolutely free. You never get charged anything for subscribing to a YouTube channel. You're just letting the algorithm know that you like the content on my YouTube channel.
Now what's great about this adapter is that this will expand to rather large size, or rather large diameter. This Tractoric has a 54 millimeter eyepiece here, in terms of that's the maximum width, including the eye cup, which is kind of large. I mean, most eyepieces typically smaller than this, like 50 millimeters. So you can have a bit of a challenge with a lot of inexpensive phone adapters not being able to clamp onto something this large. But this one has plenty of space. And you can clamp that down there. Now, one of the things you need to take into consideration is any built-in eye cups may rotate once you put some weight on them, so you have to adjust for that. So the first thing you need to do is figure out where your camera lenses are on the body of your phone or camera, because that will determine the placement that you need to have the phone in front of your diopter here. So let's place this on the mount. And we need to get this over there. So first thing we need to do is adjust the height down, and then adjust the knob to move it over. And you may have to actually push your phone into position. This allows you a lot of control, and it probably helps if we move our spotting scope to look at something. Let me just bring down the magnification as well. And let's see, let's aim it at the top of the hill here. And that is the top of Mount Davidson, which is 1,400 yards away. And you can also adjust this so that we are in the sweet spot optically. There we go. I think we're getting a little bit of vignetting on one of the sides, so I'm not sure if we could improve that by moving the camera a little further or closer to the eyepiece. But there we go. It's a nice solid lock. And I like how the fact that this clamps onto, you just move this so you can see what I'm talking about here. I like the fact that it clamps onto the lower half of the phone, away from the controls in the phone, because a lot of clamps, they'll place the clamping position on the center of the phone, which makes sense from a, I guess, balance standpoint, but terrible because most phones have buttons around the center mass of your phone, and when your clamps down on a button, it activates the button, oftentimes turning the phone off or putting it into sleep mode or what have you. So the fact that it clamps down on one end away from the camera is certainly beneficial. And one other suggestion I would like to have for them is if they had a manual clamping of the phone clamp, because just by using spring-loaded tension, they do introduce a little bit of too much freedom of movement, considering that the reason you're picking this is to have much more control over the position of your phone. It would make sense if the actual clamp to the phone was also as rigid.
All right, so that's the phone scope mount. Let me know what you think of it. And do you have a scope mount? Do you use one? Have you found a better one than this one? Please let me know. And if you're interested in buying this scope mount, I'll include product links as well as more information and a full written review at moondogindustries.com, and you can find links in this video's description. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. It's absolutely free. You never get charged to subscribe to a YouTube or Rumble channel. It just helps this channel grow and lets the algorithm know that these are the kind of video reviews you enjoy watching. So thanks for doing that. Moondog, out. Hey, I'd like to know what you thought of this video. Leave me a comment or chat with me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, MeWe, Instagram, or Locals. And if you want to see all of my videos, go to moondogindustries.com.